Hello, beautiful friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is a long overdue video. There's a lot weighing on my shoulders, a lot that I need to get off my chest. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm very, very nervous about this video. It's been one that I've been contemplating with if I even do it. So I feel like it's needed. I feel like I do have to share these things with you. So today I'm just going to be applying a lot of drugstore price makeup. This is all stuff that's in my collection. I'm not going to really talk about the product itself. It's kind of going to be like my story times. I'll show you what I'm using. Hopefully, I'll remember to do that. But mostly, it's just to get ready with me. Catch us all up, let you know what's going on in my life. So I have a feeling this is going to be a very long video, so you might want to grab a snack, maybe some popcorn, a glass of wine, coffee, tea, whatever it is. I'll pause it and come back. And yeah, because I do have a feeling this is going to be very long. Again, I should have just been sharing this stuff along the way, but I don't want that to interfere with a review video or something. I want it to be upbeat. So this one's going to be, like this. It's a roller coaster for sure. So let's start off with the trip. Let's start on a fun level here. Okay, so the trip. We left on a Thursday evening. It was a 10-day trip, so it was just one trip we were just so looking forward to. It was to go down to celebrate Amanda's 30th birthday. Now, let me explain Amanda, if you're new to the channel. She's my daughter-in-law. She is just amazing, and she's one of those people. I always grab the wrong mirror. She's one of those people that will just make your birthday so special. She goes out of her way to make your birthday just, to make it seem like you're the most important person in her life. I mean, she just goes all out. So she was turning 30, so it's a milestone, a birthday for her for sure. So I wanted to make it special. We were going to go down there. Her stepsister and nephew were flying in from Texas. Her parents were already there. So, we were just very, very excited about this trip. And we had plans to go to Vegas, and I'll get into all that. But I was sending some stuff down to the house, like some balloons, because her favorite things are balloons and sparkles or sprinkles on cakes and cupcakes and stuff. So I knew I wanted a bunch of balloons. I didn't care if I had to order them and have them set up or anything, and I was looking into that as well, but a lot of companies won't do that in Arizona because it's so hot down there, I think. And I think I know why now. Anyway, so I had all that stuff sent down. I had some makeup sent down there because, like I've mentioned before, hold on. I'm using this palette here, Wet n Wild, always blushing. So I've started off with this shade right here, and yeah. Anyway, I'll try to do something so you know what I'm doing here. So I had some makeup sent down there because I had every intention to film while I was there because their house, the way it's set up, there's so much natural lighting, so I wouldn't have to bring my lights or anything. I did bring down my tripod and all this, with, like I said, intentions of filming because the kids actually had to work 2 of the days that we were there. So I figured while they were at work, that'd be a perfect, opportunity for me to be able to film. So I was actually really excited to be able to do that. I'll get into all that, why I didn't. Later on, because it kind of goes in with everything I'm going to be talking with today. Actually, my anxiety with flying is getting much better, so I'm super happy about that. Because yeah, that was out of control. So yeah, that went well. The kids picked us up from the airport. It was so wonderful to get Curdy. I call him Curdy. He's my son. His real name is Kurt, but we call him Curdy. Curdy and Amanda's hugs, they just give the best hugs. And it was much needed for sure. This trip was much needed for sure. So it was just perfect timing. So we got in, it was late, Arizona time. I think it was like 10:30 or something. So we just went back to the house. We caught up, a little bit, not a lot. We didn't want to stay up too late because the following day, we were celebrating Amanda's birthday. Now, it wasn't her birthday. We were just celebrating it because her sister or stepsister from Texas was coming in, and like I mentioned, and she was only going to be in Arizona for what in the world? Oh my goodness, something. There was a lot of kickback or something. She was only going to be in town for a few days, so we were celebrating early. Her parents actually on her birthday were going to be in Japan on a business trip, so that's why we celebrated it with them a week earlier. So. Yeah, I just really messed that up. Oh well, we'll make it work. So yeah, so that was going to go on the next day. So we knew we wanted to get some rest. And so we went to bed relatively early. And the next day I woke up really early. That is just me. I'm on like a clock because I wake up super early for work. She does as well too. So her and I are kind of on the same little clock time wise. So I woke up, I got up first and I went and made some coffee and was sitting around and started blowing up the balloons because we had all those balloons. They're like Mylar balloons. They're really big, sent down there. And the theme was Mexican. So she was going to have a caterer for the food, Mexican food. So she wanted it to be like a taco theme party. So we had all these cute little taco balloons. You know, I'll be sharing pictures along the way here. Sent down there. And I got this machine, this air, I guess, air machine. It's not a helium machine, but it's like an air machine to blow up the balloons. Wow, is that worth the money? Everything I'm going to be talking about, hopefully, and everything I'm going to be using will be listed down below in the description box. So make sure to look there because if you're looking into something to blow up a lot of balloons at once, this thing was amazing. So yeah, I blew up all the balloons because we were going to be placing those outside. And yeah, we got that all done and it was super hot that day. It was really, really hot. And I'm talking like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. I went out and it was, yeah, it was pretty steamy. And I think people were heading over, I wanted to say around 2 or 3 that day. So we had some time. So we had breakfast, all that. Then we went outside to hang these balloons, Mylar balloons, and I also made like a cluster of balloons, and I was YouTubing while I was there how to do that, you know, make them intertwine so you don't have to use a bunch of tape or anything. And I figured it out, and I was pretty proud of myself. So, like I mentioned, I'll be putting those pictures anyway. So we went out, you know, we're trying to set up these balloons. Well, because it's so hot, and now I see why people do not come out and, you know, do these balloon setups outside because a lot of them started popping and, you know, they were getting blown against the cactus. And they were, I mean, it was just a nightmare. So we were all just sweating to death. Poor Amanda and I were just like, oh my gosh. And I felt so bad because she was helping, you know, put up her own balloons. You know, I'm like, we can do this. But she insisted. So anyway, yeah, she got pretty overheated. I think we all kind of did. So we got that all set up. We went and took showers, got ready for her party. Everybody started coming over. And her stepsister I have met before, you know, at the wedding, but it was just very brief. There was a lot of people out there, and I really didn't have a chance to really talk with her. And while they were there, we really got to know her. She is very sweet. Her son is very sweet. I was just so happy to meet them. And honestly, we all got along so well. It was like we almost all knew each other for years. You know, it was just really weird how we all clicked very well. So that's what we did that night. We you know, had the Mexican food. The kids had made like this drink menu because my son absolutely loves to make cocktails. Honestly, he could probably do it as a part-time gig, you know, on the side, even at a bar or, you know, at parties because he's really, really good at it. And so they had done that. It was just very, very nice. So Amanda, you know, she opened up her gifts. She had the cutest cake. We had, you know, like I mentioned, that meal, and it was a lot of food. I mean, a lot. And Amanda, um, you know, like towards the end, she started not feeling good. And I think it's just because the heat, we all overate. She slammed water. And yeah, towards the end, the poor thing wasn't feeling good. But let me back up. What I got her, I want to share with you guys real quick. What Daryl and I ended up getting her, I was looking all over the internet, you know, of what to get a 30-year-old, you know, I was like, what do I get a 30-year-old? I mean, someone that has pretty much everything that they need, you know. My son spoils her, you know, and so I was like, what do I get her? So, what it was, a LED, the red LED light mask came up. I'm like, oh my gosh, how perfect is that? 30 years old is when our skin really starts, you know, changing. So I was like, what a perfect idea. And I have one. I actually had one sent to me in PR a while back, and it's by Current Body, and I absolutely love mine. So that's what I ended up getting her, was one of those LED masks. So, and she really, really loved it. I don't know if she's used it yet. I don't care if she doesn't for a year. You know, at least she has it. And, you know, when it's time and she will want to use it, she has it. So, yeah, I was just so proud of myself on that one. So yeah, that night she wasn't feeling good, and thank goodness I always have anti-nausea pills on me for my Crohn's, so I offered that to her. Within, you know, 20 minutes, though, those things work just amazing, and she was feeling a lot better. So, you know, that night ended a little early, but that's okay. You know, everybody was pretty tired and stuff. So, and the next day we were going to a concert, and I was so excited about that. And if you're from, you probably wouldn't know it. It's called Pine Knob. It's an outdoor type situation here that venues go to here in Michigan. And they actually have something very similar there in Arizona. And that's where Joan Jett is who we saw, the opener, and Alanis Morissette. It was such a good concert. Joan Jett looks, you know, I swear that woman didn't even age. You know, she was playing her guitar. You could see like these muscles, you know, ripped on her arms. I'm like, what is going on here? Alanis Morissette, she sounded and looked amazing. It was just a really neat place, and everybody went there. We got a limo, one of those, what are they called? A bus limo, I guess it is. So that was just, it was just really a fun concert. Had a great time doing that.
Me?
Oh my God!
I know, I'm sorry. I was waiting for a pause.
You're lucky that I did, because I normally just go rambling.
I am so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm so sorry. I felt horrible. I tried flicking the lights on and off.
Anyway, go ahead.
They're going riding. Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I just got spooked half to death. You know, how unusual when I'm down in this basement. But Daryl actually came down. I didn't know he was standing right there for the longest time. And he goes, hey, honey. I'm like, ah. I swear I get so spooked when I'm down here. Anyway, so yes, the concert was a blast. And then, so that was Sunday. Monday, what did we, oh, we were going to go on the boat. It's called Scorpion Lake, or Lake Pleasant. And we've done this twice. We rent a pontoon. It is so much fun. It's super affordable to get those pontoon boats, and you can get it for all day long. And that's what we did. We had such a great time out there, except there was one incident, and I'll tell you that. So yeah, we were having a great time. We played the music. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. You see wild donkeys out there. So we love going there. So pretty much every time I think that we go to visit them, we'll probably do that, because that's just like our little gig now. And like I mentioned, it's super affordable, and we all just have a great time. Now, oh my goodness, you guys, you know what I just realized? I forgot a shimmer. I actually could just go without a shimmer, but I want a little bit of shimmer in my life here. Okay, so the instant was, after having such an amazing time, you know, it gets hot out there, and even though you're under that canopy and all that, you still get really hot. So we jump in, and I was, I took a life vest with me every time because I'm not a strong swimmer. I know my weaknesses, and that is one of them. And so I did not go in that water without, I'm trying to debate on a shimmer here. That's what I'm contemplating here. So yeah, I just was like very nervous. I went out with a life jacket. Everybody's jumping in, without one. And Kurt, um, you know, this kid, I'm telling you, he just tests me, tests me, tests me. He jumps in and he is far from the boat. And I'm having a hard time even with my life jacket. I don't know what it was. It was like we may have been like in a current or something, but it just seemed like I was kicking and kicking and kicking and could not get up to the boat. And I seen how far he was, and I'm panicking. I'm like, put the boat in reverse. And, Daryl's like looking at me like I'm crazy. And I literally screamed at the top of my lungs at Daryl, cussing and everything. I mean, I was just so upset. And everybody is telling me, calm down, he's fine. I'm like, no, he's too far out. And I don't know what it was. I just went into a panic mode. Looking back on that, I don't know. I don't know what came over me. I truly don't. But yeah, I really went bananas. And finally, I got back up to the boat, and Kurt's like laughing. He's like, and it's not funny. I was really upset. And I still to this day, I'm very upset. So everybody's like, he was fine, and Kurt was in the service, so I forget that. I don't know the training that they do. How can I not find my brush? Okay, I found it. I don't know all the training. I wasn't there. I don't know. So he has a lot of training with water, all that stuff, and like I told Daryl later that night, I said, had somebody just thrown a life vest at him, to shut me up and make me calm down and not embarrass myself of acting like an idiot because his her stepsister was on, like I mentioned, the nephew, her mom and dad, so yeah, I was pretty embarrassed after that I just acted like that. So anyway, that was the only incident on on the boat, but oh my gosh, it just freaked me out that he was so far out, out, and I couldn't get to the boat for some reason, kicking, and yeah, it just really upset me. Anyway, so we got back, everything was fine, we all calmed down and talked about it a little bit, and Kurt assured me, and Amanda, she said, I'm a very strong swimmer. I would never let anything. And I'm like, I know, but when you're in panic mode, it's hard, to get out of that. So anyway, I called my mom the next morning, explained to her, and she was, I totally understand, so at least I had somebody on my side on that one because I would have done the same thing. And I'm like, you know, like I mentioned, had we not been drinking on the boat, especially like my son, had we not been drinking, had somebody thrown out a darn life vest, things would have played out much differently. Anyway, so that was that incident, because I'm telling you all these things, all these little things will kind of make sense in a little bit. So just remember these little parts I'm telling you, these panics, blah, blah, blah. So, that was Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, the kids they had to work. So Daryl and I had rented a car because Amanda has to travel for her work. She has to go to different stores. And then Kurt, he, works an hour away. So that Daryl would have to drive him an hour to work, come back, and it was just too much. So we rented a car for the next 2 days. So Tuesday, I went upstairs, like I mentioned, and I had all this makeup. I had brought all of this makeup that I had sent there. I set up my my tripod. I had everything set up where I was going to film. The lighting was perfect, and I was ready to go. And so I went to sit down and start filming, and first of all, it was in front of this window, and these cars kept going back and forth, where I was going to film. And I'm sure there's other places in the house, but I didn't, this was the only place that wasn't going to be in anybody's way. Even though they were at work, I just felt comfortable I guess most comfortable filming there. So anyway, this motorcycle kept going back and forth, and I'm like, oh gosh, I hope this doesn't interfere with the taping. And so I started to film, and let me just tell you this. Oh, this eye, it's already watering, and nothing is wanting it to stick. So we're not going to do a wing here. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to stress myself out over that. So I went to start filming, and I'm trying to tell you, even the intro, we were going into almost an hour. I could not. I don't know. I don't know. This again, something, what I'm talking about is going to play a part later in the story. So finally I gave up. I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this. And I put everything away. I was so upset with myself, disappointed with myself. I felt like I was going to let you guys down. And finally I just said, you know what? It is what it is. I'm not going to beat myself up over this, make myself upset for the rest of the trip over that. So I came to my senses after a while, and all of a sudden Daryl comes upstairs and he starts going through all the luggage and stuff. I'm like, what are you looking for? And he goes, I'm looking for your anti-nausea pills. I'm like, oh no. I said, what's going on? He goes, all of a sudden, he goes, I just felt really nauseous. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, what do you think it could be? I go, do you think you're overheating where you're sitting outside by the pool? And because earlier that day we had gone swimming in the pool, but that was like early, in the morning, like around 10. He goes, no, he goes, I think it's my glasses. And I go, your glasses? He goes, yeah, I think it's just kind of messing with my eyesight. And I'm like, Daryl, those are glasses you've worn forever. Anyway, I convinced him, no, it's not your glasses. And then, so I gave him the anti-nausea pill, and then I felt his forehead, and he was on fire. And bless his heart, because, I'm lying. That was Tuesday. Oh no, Tuesday. I'm lying. That's Wednesday. Tuesday we went and got massages while the kids were at work, and yeah, that was actually a nice day. We went looking around, the neighborhood, I guess you want to call it, or the area, and did some shopping. And yeah, so that was Tuesday. So that was very nice. Wednesday is when I tried to film, and he wasn't feeling good. So I felt his forehead, and this is just the Essence, a volume booster lash primer. I just want to try it. I haven't used it in a very long time. So yeah, he's on fire, and bless his heart, he's trying to convince me himself that it's fine. He's not hot. I said, no, you are, on fire. I don't know where any of the kids' stuff. I didn't want to bother them because I didn't want to worry them, because the next day was, we were going to head to Vegas. We all had all these reservations through, the hotel, and out to dinner, all this stuff. So I didn't want to get Amanda upset and ruin it if it was just something, small, I'm like, I'm not going to jump to conclusions just yet. So, and I didn't want to call her and ask where her thermometer was or anything. And I don't, I'm not going to go snooping around the house. So anyway, I said, Daryl, let's go find a thermometer, see what's going on. And, I'll get you something for, fever if you have it, blah, blah, blah. So we head up to the store, and the whole time I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? Probably driving him absolutely crazy. So he's trying again to convince himself, me, everything, that everything's fine. And I go in and I get some Gatorade. I got some what is it, liquid IV, because I when I don't feel good, or after one of my procedures, that is what I fill my electrolytes back up with, is my liquid IV and all that. So I got all that Tylenol. I come out to the with the thermometer. I take his temperature, and I'm like, this thing's broken. This can't be. It was up to 103.5. I'm like, this is dangerous for an adult, for it to be that high. So I'm starting to get really worried. And finally, he's just bad. He's like, I feel dizzy. I don't feel good. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, go up, stairs, and let's see what happens. And so he went up. He fell asleep. Thank goodness. And finally, I call Amanda, and I said, I think Daryl's really sick. I said, I am so sorry. You know, I knew we were supposed to go to Vegas the next day. She was so excited about it. That's all we talked about. I think the first night we watched The Hangover, that's what it was. And so, you know, we just had all these plans, and, you know, she goes, maybe this is for a reason, you know, she goes, you know, she just tried to make it sound, you know, that it wasn't a big deal. To this day, I don't know, but, you know, I just felt so bad, and I knew Daryl was going to feel really bad about it. So I don't know. Anyway, she came home. We had to take the car back, her and I, because, you know, of course, Daryl can't do that. So we take the car back. We come back, and she made some soup. She had some soup that was frozen for Daryl, and he comes down finally, and his shirt is just drenched in sweat. And I went up, you know, to the room, and the bed is drenched. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, I'm like, well, that's a good thing. You know, I said, how you feeling? He goes, actually, he goes, I feel fine, other than, you know, I feel hot and cold, blah, blah, blah. So he ate the soup, actually, and I asked him, and I'm like, can I sleep on the couch? Because I don't want to sleep next to him if he's coming down with something. So, you know, and all that, in between all that time, we had canceled all of our reservations with the hotel, everything, because we're like, we don't know what this is. It could be a virus. We did a COVID test that came back negative. But it could have been a flu, anything. So we're like, we don't want to go to Vegas and all of us be sick in a room in Vegas. So we ended up canceling everything. And yeah, it was a little depressing, but what can we do? Actually, it probably saved all of us a lot of money. I will say that. So, you know, when we really thought about it, it was like probably up for the best. So, yeah, he ended up waking up the next day totally fine. And what we did the next day, this is a day before her real birthday. So, Thursday we just hung out. We went driving around looking at some places, you know, just looking at different houses and the area. You know, just really just snooping around. It was actually a very nice, had some lunch, and picked up a few things, and because the next day was her a real birthday, which would be a Friday. The plans, of course, all changed. So she thought, oh, you know what? I've been really wanting to try this Japanese steakhouse. And we're like, yeah, let's do that. You know, how perfect is that? What a great idea. So she made reservations for that. And then let's see, and then we were planning on going to, there's a casino right there, you know, in Arizona, and I believe that one's called the Diamond something casino. And dinner was amazing. It was so good. It was kind of more of a fancy upscale Japanese steakhouse. You know, it's one of those where they make the meal, you know, there, and there's entertainment. The guy was hilarious. He was really talented, really kept us entertained the whole time. The drinks, everything, it was absolutely perfect. It really honestly felt like something that would be in Vegas. So that's what we did there. And then we went over to the casino, and that casino is very Vegas like as well. So I played a little bit of the slots. I like the slot machines, and then I played some card. I think it was like, oh gosh, what is it called? Texas Hold'em maybe, or something. I don't know. Yeah, three card poker. That's what it is. And Kurt was playing blackjack, and I won a little bit of money. I was super excited, so I didn't lose any, so that's a plus. And we just had a nice time. So it was a really fun evening for her birthday, and all that. So I just use this. I haven't used this in a long time. So I just wear a balm under my eyes anymore because they're so dry, and it really just, I feel, does such a difference with my makeup. So okay, so that was her birthday, Saturday. What did we do? I'm going to be almost done here. So I'm going to try to really hurry up here. Saturday, yeah, the rest of the time we just hung out, had a wonderful time together. Just a nice trip. It was so hard to leave, but the kids are coming back. Amanda's going to be back here in Michigan Tuesday, which is 2 days from now. And then Kurt comes in Thursday. He's, you know, just really quickly, because her parents sold their home here and will be moving down permanently in Arizona. Like I mentioned before, they have a condo there and have had this condo for like over 20 years. And then they're actually building a home there in a different city from where they're at now. So they'll sell the condo and then, yeah, all that. So anyway, yeah, they're going to be back in town, so I'm super excited to see them in just a few days. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else about the trip that I probably should share. We went scorpion hunting. That was really cool. You have to have like a black light to find the scorpions. It's just very bizarre to see them. And honestly, scorpions aren't what they say. Well, the ones there, if you get stung, it's not going to be, fatal or anything unless you are allergic, just like bees here. So that's kind of what they say. It's kind of like a bee sting. So, and honestly, I actually think I was stung by one the first time I was down there. Right here, I had put on my towel while we were at the pool, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it was like the worst pain I've ever felt, from a sting. And so I think I actually got a little stung. Anyway, so yeah, we did that, and just a lot of card playing and singing and cocktails, and it was just a lovely visit. Okay, so yeah, so that is it. That is it about the trip. The kids are coming in, and let me think where I'm going to go now with the rest of what I want to tell you. Okay, I'm cutting in here because I got done with this video. I just completed it and I forgot to mention this in the beginning. The reason why I'm doing this video, it's not for pity, it's not for comments, it's not for to feel sorry for me or anything like that. I just want to keep you guys updated on what's going on. I know so many of you, especially on a personal level, we talk all the time, are going through a lot more, so that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like my problems are any bigger than yours or whatsoever. I just want you to know that they're here. And unfortunately for my position, I am out here. You can see what's going on with me. I'm sure you can tell in my videos if something's going on, where that's the only reason why I feel like I do have to tell you this. Again, it's not for sympathy or pity or anything like that. I just want to put that out there. And again, my troubles are not even remotely close to so many of yours. So let's just put that out there. All right, let's get back into the video. Okay, so I think where I want to start is just a lot of things have been going on health-wise. Like I had mentioned, my mom, we're still kind of trying to see where that's going to go. I think things have gotten better. If you don't know, she was having like kidney problems, like to the point where we thought we were going to have to put her on a dialysis, and she said that if it ever came to that, she would refuse, and I believe her. She's very stubborn, so I was really upset about that. And then right before I was to leave on vacation, my boss, he had told us like maybe, I don't know, 6 weeks prior to me leaving, maybe even 8 weeks, that he was diagnosed with a thyroid cancer, which is honestly, they say if you're going to get a cancer, that's the one you want because it's just very easy. They remove the thyroid, wham, you're done. You have to take iodine for the rest of your life and all that. So that was, what was going on. He was actually the lead in a play because he's an actor. I know those of you who have been here for a while have probably seen me post when he's up on his stage in his play. And let me just talk about my boss really quick. I've been with him for, I want to say 10, 11 years now. And we're like just family, all of us, the girls, everything. We're just very close. We have a great time together. My boss is the life of the party. If he's having a get together, there's people that will go out of their way just to be with him. They invite him to everything because, again, the world is his stage. He is just very, I don't know, over eccentric. He's just the life of the party. He reminds me a lot of my son. My son's like that. He walks into the room and it just lights up, and everybody's so excited that he's there. So that's Dr. Leo, and so just keep that in mind. And I'm trying to think how he was in the play. He was going to be in the play the Friday before I was to leave on vacation. And I think it was Monday or Tuesday. he comes in and, Monday or Tuesday before the play, he comes in and he has no voice. And we're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And he always, and what little voice he had, he sounds like the Godfather. That's the only thing I can tell you what it sounds like. So it's just very soft, and that's how he talks. And for me, I have hearing aids. I wear hearing aids on both ears. So I usually have a very hard time understanding him. And for some reason, his tone with what was happening, I can hear him better. It makes no sense. Anyway, so he had no voice, and we're like, "What is going on?" He goes, "Oh, saying he had laryngitis." We're like, "Really? Have you gone to the doctor? Have you been diagnosed that it's laryngitis?" And they're stubborn. Men in general are stubborn. Doctors are stubborn. They're just ridiculous. So he kept saying it was laryngitis. I'm thinking, okay, you're in this play. There is absolutely no way that you're going to be able to get on that stage. No one's going to be able to hear you. This is crazy. And he kept saying that he was going on with this play. And I'm like, it's not going to be happening. There is no way. Because it wasn't getting any better whatsoever. He was just, taking a bunch of lozenges, all of that. And finally, the day before the play, we get the text from his wife that, yeah, he's not going to be in the play. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because honestly, I was so nervous to go to this play because the day, oh gosh, he called off on, trying to think how it all went down. He called off one day, and the last time I had seen him, he was having a hard time breathing. Like when he would talk, he would run out of breath really quick. And I'm like, this is more than laryngitis. This is insane. So finally, yeah, she called and said he's not going to be in this play. And I was almost thankful because I really did not want to go because I was so afraid he was going to go on that stage and like catch his, lose his breath, faint or something. I don't know. I just was not feeling a good vibe going to that play. So, and I forget how this all went down. The rest is just such a blur to me. We got a text from Ann that he had been hospitalized, and we are like, what in the heck is going on? He had his surgery plan to have the thyroid removed, all this, we're like, what is? And I'm sure she just did, just wasn't sure herself what was going on, so she was just very vague with the messages, and I was just like, what is happening? So for the longest time, we were just kind of in the dark, which was just frightening. Just absolutely, that is super pigmented. Absolutely, it was absolutely frightening, and I just couldn't imagine what was going on. She sent us a pic finally, and he has a tracheotomy. He was on a ventilator. He had a feeding tube. It just was, I just couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, what is going on? And she honestly had really no, good answers for us either. Finally, it was told that he has anaplastic thyroid cancer, which is a very, very aggressive form of cancer. Also, it was in his lymph nodes and the lung. And I am just like horrified. And so this is before I'm going on my vacation that I get this news. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I almost canceled the vacation. I'm like, what if something happens horrible? What am I going to do? I would have to leave. I would have to leave Arizona. To come home. And I was just, so that was in the back of my head the whole time while I was there. There was just so much that really weighed on me. I was just so scared something was going to happen. Well, right before I was to leave, he started getting better, and he actually, I had asked for me to come up, because I'm his manager, had asked for me to come up and get some things talked about, what we're going to do. And so I went up there, And I walked in the room and I just gasped because he had already lost like 35, 40 pounds. I don't even know. He did not look like my boss, in that bed. And so he had to text everything to me because at that time he couldn't really get, a lot of words out. Oh, and his whole left side of his tongue, or is it his left? I'm trying to think. Yeah, left side of his tongue is numb. That's on top of it all. And it's from the tumor that had gotten so big that it started suffocating him, is basically what started happening. So he had to type everything down for me to understand. I got the gist of what, he was wanting and all that. So literally I walked out of the room and that feeling, that just took everything in my power not to fall on the ground, lose it. I literally wanted to just drop to my knees and just bawl my eyes out because I just could have never imagined him of all people being in that state. It was just a very eye-opening experience for me to see somebody that is so full of life that was going to be in a play on a stage days before and to that in a matter of just hours. So I was just very, very, very upset about that. Still to this day, I'm just very upset. He's still not out of the woods. But prior to me leaving for the hospital, he got a lot better. So I did feel a little bit more comfortable leaving. Um, and then when I got back, he's actually back to work twice a week, right now. And he's only working limited hours. He still has a tracheotomy. The patients are doing amazing with him. And bless his heart, but they haven't, started chemo, radiation, nothing or the surgery. None of that's happened because his form of cancer is so aggressive and they're just trying to shrink that he's taken a pill and it's supposed to really just go, pinpoint where that tumor is and make it, smaller. So we're not sure, the future is just very unknown, what's going to happen. And as of right now, though, he's doing okay, thank God. Yeah, it was just a very, very scary time. And I just can't imagine, what his family's going through. I mean, he's the only one really. I mean, his wife owns a store, like a little tiny store where near where they live. But he's the breadwinner and I just can't imagine the pressure that they must be under right now, between that, what they're going to do at the practice, who knows if he's going to be able to work with his voice, any of that, because he's having a really hard time with that tracheotomy, trying to work. Now it's one that you don't have to cover it, to talk. It's really cool. It has like a cap on it, but it makes it hard for him to breathe, so it's, he's just very limited. So that was huge. I mean, absolutely huge, and weighed and still is weighing on my shoulders. And because his future's unknown, my future's unknown with my job. Everybody's. It's just kind of, I don't know what's going to happen. And so there's that, and then there's something going on with me, and I don't know what it is. There's several things. I think I'll just start with the most, I guess, mild part of all this is I keep getting panic attacks. I mean, literal panic attacks, and that's why I haven't been able to film. That's why I couldn't film when I was in Arizona. I just start feeling this extreme anxiety, and then I can't get the words out. I overanalyze everything anyway. I've been having a hard time filming for a very long time. This anxiety thing for about a year. I had talked to you guys about it before. I go to film and it's like I shut down. I start overthinking everything, and then I start stumbling over my words. I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want my videos to be as informative as possible, and I don't have tons of time. when I'm not doing this, because I have a job, I don't have tons of time to research the products. A lot of times I go into other videos and I'm watching them and how prepared they are and how good they sound, how professional they sound. I read the comments and I see all the positive, remarks about that. And then I see some of the negative, not to them, but oh, I'm so, glad that you're so prepared. I hate going on and watching somebody and they don't even know what shade it is. So these are the things that are back in my head. Um, and I probably should not go there, but I do, because I'm trying to, analyze my channel because that's another thing. We'll get into that in a minute. So these panic attacks have been happening, and the kids even mentioned something while I was there. They're like, "Are you okay? Because you seem really uptight. You seem what was the word that they used? It wasn't uptight. They said that I just seem very oh gosh, sensitive. That was the word. You seem very oversensitive." Um, because I got my feelings hurt a few times where I actually kind of got, in tears, and it was nothing, you guys. And then that panic attack on the boat. Yeah, so these panic attacks are getting really bad. And I already take medication and I'm not going to get on it anymore. So we could just, no, it's not going to happen. It's something that I got to have to work out on my own because I am not taking any more pills. I'm on, forget what it's even I'm on. It's like buprenorphine or something like that. And I'm not going to get on anymore because I've seen people where they get on these pills, one thing leads to another, leads to another. No, it's something either I'm going to have to work out through meditation, something. So, yeah, these anxiety attacks are, almost, what do you call it, paralyzing. It's just absolutely horrible. I'm sure, anyone that has these panic attacks know exactly where I'm coming from, and they're absolutely horrible. And I think what's going on with my boss, that's playing a huge part because, like I mentioned, how can someone go from this to this that quickly? And then let's see, with me, I have the Crohn's, I have my loss of hearing, and um, I've just had this weight issue going on. You guys know how that's been going on. That was really bothering me. And I I went to go get my blood work done, and my liver enzymes were off the charts. And I mean, they've always kind of been elevated. And I kind of blamed it on the medication because I'm on tons of medications. Tons, you guys. I take some for blood pressure, cholesterol. This has been going on since my 30s, by the way. Bleep. And it's been going on since in my 30s, and even when I was very thin. I'll show a picture of what I used to look like, and I worked out like a crazy person, and it was even then. So it's not, has nothing to do with my weight or anything. So the blood pressure, the cholesterol, I'm on cholesterol pills. I also take something for my anxiety, something for the Crohn's, so I have all this medicine going in me, and so I blamed it on that. I blame my hair loss on that. I blame everything on my medications, which I'm sure it does play a huge part. So the liver enzymes were up. So high at this time. I mean, unusually high. And so she said, no, my gastrologist actually had requested me to get, oh, by the way, in between all that, I had a colonoscopy. Everything was great with my digestive tract. So that was a very, like moment, a relieving moment. I'm like, okay, there's nothing going on there. Thank God, because every time I have a colonoscopy, there's always something. So I was so excited about that. And then he calls me and he goes, okay, we need to have you go get an ultrasound of your liver. He said, those numbers are pretty high. And I'm like, okay. And so, oh my goodness, I'm going to use this liner here. Let me check the shade. I should have looked before I came down. So this is called Grunge. So he ordered the ultrasound and that came back abnormal. They said, highly suggest that I get an MRI with and without contrast. So I had scheduled that But in between all that, my regular doctor with the blood, um, it showed my glucose was fine. And I think this is the first time that this particular test had been tested on me. And I forget what it's called. It's like a C something, I don't know. But anyway, it shows like your blood sugar levels or something like that for diabetes. For the past 3 months. And like I said, it's never been on any of my other tests that I've seen. This was like something she ran separate. And of course, that was elevated. So she had tried to put me on this medicine for diabetes, and I took it one time. And yeah, I was like, absolutely not. I don't think this is good with my Crohn's because it was making me, I could not leave my bathroom. I'm like, what is going on? So I took one pill. Well, because I took that one pill, the MRI people would not do a MRI without me going to get a test. Oh gosh, I can't even think. I think it's the DIF test or something, some kind of test, again, blood levels. And so I had to cancel it and I rescheduled it for when I came back from the kids. So 2 days after we got back from Arizona. So that was in the back of my head my whole time at down in Arizona, that something's good, going on with my liver. So I had the MRI and still again, they don't like what they're seeing. And so now I have, it's called a fibro scan scheduled, and that's not till the end of July. So I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know what's going on with my liver. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So that's all I can say because I really don't know what's happening. And it's very scary. It's very scary that, especially like I mentioned, with what's going on with my boss, how everything took a turn so quickly. And that's what I guess that's in the back of my head. That can happen to anybody, and I just don't know what's going on with me, you guys. I wish I could give you an answer. I don't feel any different. I don't look jaundiced, if you ask me. I don't have really any side effects. The only thing that is strong possibility that I'm going to say is it could be diabetes. And honestly, I've changed my eating habits since I've been told this. My mom and I both. I have cut out all of my snacks. We used to have chips in here, all that. We do not. I haven't bought a chip. I can't even tell you when. I've been preparing all of my meals for work. If I get something, it's a salad or something lean. And honestly, I've hardly lost a pound. So I don't get what's going on. I'm like, there's no way I should have lost a lot of weight with the way I'm eating. I'm just very, very cautious of what I put in my mouth. I tried exercising there for I don't know, a couple weeks. And the only thing with that was something's going on with my back, So every time I tried to lift my feet, I literally would get a shooting pain down my backside. So I'm done, you guys. I'm a hot mess. Hot mess. So I'm going to try the exercising again. My back seemed to have calmed down, and I actually think it's a pair of shoes that I bought, and they were not cheap shoes. My daughter-in-law has just them. They work fine for her, but I think they are the culprit of my back pain, and it's those um, on cloud or whatever they are, shoes. And like I said, they are not cheap, but I'm telling you, I have tested it over and over. Every time I wear them, my back hurts for like 2 days straight. And when I don't wear them, it gets better. So anyway, I'm going to really try to go back to exercising and see if that is going to help. I have to go get my blood work taken again. So I just wish I knew what was going on with my boss, with me, with my mom, and honestly, especially now with my boss, we are considering moving to Arizona. That is my goal, and that's another thing that just kind of is weighing on my shoulders because I don't know if we could pull this off. We'd have to sell the house. We'd have to everything. There's so much to think about. I would have to leave my dad. Daryl would be leaving his parents, and Let me just tell you this really quick, this story. There's so much more, you guys. I mean, there's just so much more, and I hope I have time to fill it in here, and I hope you have time. But let me just tell you this story. And it weighed very heavy. I was taking a shower after I'd heard it and broke down, bawling my eyes out because it really was an eye-opening thing I heard. It was like a podcast. I think I was scrolling. It was either in Instagram, TikTok, something. And this guy is interviewing this other guy, and he goes, hey, he goes, can I ask you, are both of your parents still alive? And he said, yeah. And he goes, how old are they? And he said, 75, 75-ish. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, do you guys live in the same state? And he goes, no, they live in Washington, D.C. And he goes, well, how many times do you see them, do you think? And he goes, a year. And he goes, well, I probably see them like twice a year. And he goes, okay. He goes, so you're probably saying to yourself, you have 5 good years. If they live to 80, you have 5 good years with your parents. And he goes, I say no. You have 10 more visits with your parents. And it went, oh, I was like, that could work both ways. And I thought the same thing. My mom lives with me. I'm very fortunate. I see my dad all the time. Daryl goes to his parents every week. So mine was more flipped. Let's say I would have 10, 20 years with on this earth. We don't know. No one knows. That's what I'm saying. There's no perfect scenario, but it really made me think. Let's say I had 10 years. Let's just say something happens. I have 10 years. That's only 20 more times I'll see my son. So it just, it really hit a nerve for me, and it was a really eye-opening experience. I really want to move to Arizona. I want to make it possible to where they can happen. Honestly, before I was going to have a very hard time because of my boss. I think things are going to take a different turn, even with the business. Even he's got to. I think he's going to reevaluate. Where he probably just would like to work for somebody instead of own it, have that kind of pressure, is what I'm going to be thinking he's going to be doing. So if that's the case, there's really not much, for my job wise, here. And dentists are very hard to work for, just let me tell you that. And he is the easiest guy I have ever worked for in my life. Like I mentioned, we're family. We're all great friends. And so the thought of me working for another dentist, no. I would rather go mow a lawn or something. So that's in the back of my head. There's so much to channel. Like I said, I'm having a hard time filming lately. Lately, since I come back from Arizona, it's been going a lot better. I haven't had any panic attacks, but I've considered stopping the channel. It's not growing at that much at all. It's going to be four full years in October that I've had this channel, and I'm not even at 10,000 followers, you guys. And everybody has their own reasons of why they start YouTube. It can change. Excuse me. It can change. Mine was always to, have it to where I could possibly retire, to have it as replace my income, so I would have the freedom to go see Kurt. Or anything like that. So mine was not started just as a hobby. Some people do it as a hobby. Some people, everybody has their own reasons. So mine was to make a living off of this. So, and I'm losing money big time. I am, you guys. The cost of makeup, it's just ridiculous. I get very little PR videos. I've been seeing a huge decline in my views, and I don't know. And I'm buying new products, and that's not even working. So I don't know. I'm at a loss. And for me to sit down, have these panic attacks, not be able to even film because the panic attack is so bad. I can be down here for 3 hours sometimes and not even be able to post the video because I can't get through it. and it's taken up so much time away from my family, time away from, my house looks a disaster because I've let it go for so long because I'm always either working, doing this, researching the products, and it just such a lot of time with, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying my hardest because I don't want to, you guys mean everything to me. I mean, honestly, when you've gotten me through some really dark times, and yeah, it's very therapeutic for me to be on here and to spill my guts out to you. And again, I am not doing this. I do not want pity. I'm not doing, for people to be sorry for me. I'm not doing it for, comments. I'm not doing it for any of that. I'm just telling you, just in case something happens to where you don't see me for a while, it's because either I have these panic attacks that keep reoccurring, or something has happened to my boss, something's happened to me. I mean, if something serious happens, of course I'll try to get on here and tell you, but or if I decide that I'm going to no longer do the channel, I will definitely come on. There's just a lot. I just want this to be out there, and this is really hard for me to say this because I could lose followers at this second right now. You guys could all go, oh, well, I'm done because, she's going to quit. And I don't know that. I don't know what the future holds, unfortunately, with anything anymore, and that's the thing. If you guys can please stick with me as long as I'm here, that means everything. Like I said, you are the ones that I come back for, the ones that comment, the ones I have a relationship with. You know who you are because we talk all the time, and um, you are what keeps me going. And I cannot thank you enough with all my heart because, like I said, you have got me through some very, very hard times. So that's what's going on, you guys. I just don't know what the future holds for anything anymore. I truly, truly don't. I started this channel with such big, big dreams, and the thing with me, I think the why I've held on for so long is because everything I've ever done has been not easy for me. I was a cheerleader. That didn't come easy for me. I just nothing. I don't know anything that I've ever started I've never really succeeded with. Let me say that I've never. I don't know. Really been super over successful or even relatively successful with anything I've ever tried. Where this one, it just seemed like, okay, there's a chance. This is all me. I've done it all by myself. I researched everything, to start this channel, how to edit, all that stuff. And so it was something I felt really took pride on and still do to this day. And the great thing is, no matter what, whatever comes of this, there's a legacy of me, where my grandkids can go back one day and watch these films. And that is, an amazing thing about this. And I think that kind of helps me. But to be, almost 4 years going on, it could be 5 years. I don't even know. It's a long time. I am, I'm just not, I'm not successful whatsoever. I make yeah, like I said, the views are really bad. The financing is really bad. I hardly get anything now again from YouTube. There was a point, remember when I talked about it, a few months back where things were starting to look okay, because people were watching my videos, at least I was making something. I could buy products to put on the channel where it's not happening again. The views, go look at my last 3 or 4 videos, and not very good at all. So it's all up in the air, you guys. It truly is. But I promise to let you know if something seriously changes. So that is everything that's been going on with me, and yeah, we just have to wait and see where the future takes us. And my ideal future, if I can at least share that with you guys, my ideal future would be, again, to succeed on this channel. I think to succeed, for me to be able to make a living, to where it would replace the money that I make for my job, I would probably have to guess around 80 to 100,000 followers is what I would have to have. let's see. That's one thing. Another thing for me, I'm hoping that will happen in the next year is to move to Arizona and be close to Kurt. I mean, I'm really hoping that can happen, but it's a lot of work. It's going to be super stressful. Like I said, this house. I mean, and I look around, I feel like I'm on Sanford and Son. I mean, I've really let it fall to pieces, and I think that's another thing. I do want to mention really quick is why I don't do a lot of content other than in front of here or up in my beauty room. It's because I'm embarrassed in my home. You know, I don't have the fancy homes like other creators have. You know, they all have these fancy homes, and Daryl and I are just very, you know, I guess middle class, lower middle class, and we don't have fancy things. You know, we don't have fancy house, and you know, we do the best that we can, and that's, you know, so that's why I don't do a lot of that content. And out in shopping, I get a little embarrassed too because I feel, I don't know, I just get weird, you know, I'm like talking into my phone, and I don't know. One day, hopefully, I'll overcome that. But okay, you guys, so that is it. Hopefully, you know, I touched on everything that I wanted to talk to you about. And I do want to tell you, I will be doing a video for sure on this ring here. I'm super excited about it. Now, it's going to be a dedicated video because in exchange for me to get this ring, I promised them a dedicated video. So it's actually really cool. And I really wanted this ring, so I agreed to it. It's not sponsored whatsoever. It's just basically a trade. So that's what the next video probably will be about, or one after that. Because it's really a neat ring, and I've been wearing it, if you guys have been noticing, the past few videos. So that would be next, and if you could please do me a favor and watch that video, because you know, when they send me products like that, I think it looks good if, you know, I get people to watch the video. And if you could like it, that would really help too, and put a heart in the comments. You don't even have to really watch it, just hit play, walk away, clean your house, come back. Like, you don't have to watch it if it's something you don't interest, you know, it doesn't interest you. On, you can do that with all my videos. I've said that before. You don't have to really watch them, but if you want to support me, just hit play, you know, hit the like button, put a heart in the comments, and yeah, I mean, honestly, that helps so much. All right, you guys, I hope you did enjoy today's video. Hopefully it won't be too long. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very long video, unfortunately, but yeah, I would try to edit most of this out. All right, you guys, that is it. You know how much I love you. I can't wait to see you again, and until next time.